Hello everyone, thanks for pressing play. You are watching a brand new episode of ExcaliburCCGTV. Thank you for helping us break the 400 subscriber barrier. I looked this morning, like at 420. It's just, you guys are awesome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing to our videos. As always, I'm Chris, this is Randy. We're coming to you from Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Don't forget about our store in Texarkana, Texas, and you can always check out what's going on at our website, ExcaliburCCG.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. The links are down below. And as always, sometimes I forget to mention it, there is an MP3 available of this episode. So if you are on the go, you can click on the link down below. It will take you directly to our website, and you can listen to the MP3, download it, listen to it on the go, and have fun with that. Guys, September 10th, comics. This is a huge week. It's a huge Image week for me. I got so many Image comics that are coming. But before we launch into all that, guys, a couple of things. Randy, you want to talk about the library event?
That's right. September 23rd, 7 o'clock p.m. at the Broadmoor branch of the Shreve Memorial Library. That's, if anybody's asking, questioning, where is this exactly? Broadmoor branch is where we will have, I like what someone said online, our library edition.
Library edition.
Of the Talking Comics. So we're it's a little intimidating.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
We don't do this in front of a live crowd. You know, every now and then someone might be passing by here and stop to look at us. That's fine. But to have, you know, a lot of people, I'll up the ante here. They had a week or so ago the Doctor Who Day, and they had like 70 people show up for that.
Really?
Yeah.
At the library?
At the library.
Whoa. Okay.
We have a lot of people already confirming on our event page on Facebook. So guys, you can look at that. Hopefully, if you're friends with Excalibur Comics, we'll send out an invite to anybody. So all of our people should get invites to say, yeah, we're coming, maybe, or no way. Why would we want to do that? Actually, you don't say that. You just. But it's going to be us talking about banned or challenged comic books. I say comic books, graphic novels within the library setting. So that's what this month's focus of banned books are throughout the world, I guess, as far as that goes. So it's just kind of a celebration of the death of the comic code.
Okay.
And the comic code was purely just a government thing that was awful.
Yeah.
Should never have been in place. So.
Yeah, so that's gone, and everything has changed and moved on. Didn't you have something you wanted to show us?
I do have something I want to show you guys. Now, I want to know, who out there remembers the Dark Crystal? Do you remember the Dark Crystal?
Yeah, it was Jim Henson series.
Yeah, a movie from way back in the day. And the little pod people, whenever the Skeksis would get a hold of them, like drain their essence or something from them, they would get these like giant clear eyeballs kind of thing. Well, we've got this interesting T-shirt in.
I saw that.
Quite frightening to me, actually. And they have these scary, lifeless, giant eyeballs. So I just thought this is a great shirt. It's the Trinity, obviously. It has the Roman numeral 3 behind it,
nice.
But with Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, and for some reason the big, lifeless eyeballs.
Totally lifeless. One of us.
It scares me. I don't want this shirt, but maybe someone else out there likes scary or creepy, and they want it. So,
I saw that hanging out there. I was like, what the world, man?
So, I just had to show that off in case people had not seen that. It was just something that caught my attention and spoke to me in a, like, I see dead people kind of way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys and gals, moving on. This is tons of storylines that are happening this week. We've seen the end of some things and the beginning of some new things. But this week is really a huge week for DC. Randy's going to start us off with the DC stuff.
Continuing the Future's End. Flying through it like we did last week, not spending a whole lot of time on each issue, just informing you guys what's coming out. We have Batgirl, in which Barbara Gordon is, I'm going to mess this up, Bête Noire? Sure. We're going to say that, or a.k.a. the Black Beast. She is part Batman, part Bane, and she has a group of female agents that are going to be taking on Gotham's underground. Cool. Sounds intriguing. We have Batman, where Bruce Wayne uses dangerous science now to help fight his war on crime. What is it that happened that made him go to such extremes? Also, Birds of Prey is coming out, and we have Black Canary, who is now free from Ra's al Ghul and takes her rightful place as the head of the League of Assassins.
I thought it was,
Right now, I mean, we're on a roll with some pretty interesting things here. We have Constantine, where John Constantine is now in control of the Helmet of Fate.
Ooh.
Too much power.
Yeah, for him.
And this one is a little interesting here because it seems like it's going to stretch out over 5 years. He's been dealing with this for so long. Green Lantern Corps has John Stewart, where he has his chance at redemption, or is he going to throw it all away by pulling the trigger? We've seen him going through this kind of thing for some time now. We have Infinity Man and the Forever People, where the New Gods are missing, and I believe he is the Infinity Man. Mark Moonrider is either living a beautiful dream or he's stuck in a never-ending nightmare. Which is it? We don't know. Justice League United. Put an asterisk next to this one because you need to be aware that this is continuing from the Justice League Futures In, which has not come out yet. So, and I don't know if it's coming out this month because they're behind on that book.
Okay.
Probably will. I don't see why it shouldn't. But the armies of Mars rise up to take on Earth, and it's up to the Justice League and the Legion of Superheroes to save us. Yep. That's a cool one. We have new Suicide Squad, where the Suicide Squad takes the White House. Bum, bum, bum.
Nice.
Superboy, where it's Khan and versus his clones. This is the final confrontation, and there's going to be some surprises as to who is going to help him. Finally, we have World's End, where what starts out as a prison break to free Huntress ends up being Power Girl as a prisoner instead.
Cool.
To who? Cadmus.
Okay.
We know who.
Cool.
And just have to say, Futures in Green Arrow last week, awesome.
Grayson was dark.
Steve Mooney, awesome to see his name on Grayson.
Yeah, he did that issue. That was cool.
That was good.
So these Futures End issues are taking us 5 years into the future.
Yes.
With these various characters and stories, and they're like hitting you out of left field because it's the different stuff, and then I guess they're moving forward with that. But awesome covers awesome 3D lenticular covers that you can pick up, or you can just get the regular covers if you don't want to spend the extra $1 to get those. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed those covers. I tried to show you the 3D covers again, like I did last week. Hope you enjoyed those because those are fun and very interesting to see.
Yes.
Moving on, Death of Wolverine #2 hitting the shelf. This is a weekly series, guys. #1 just came out, obviously, last week.
Yes.
We got to see Wolverine with contract out on his head. He finds out who has placed the contract on his head, and now with issue #2, he's on his way to Madripoor.
Yep.
To take a look, not take a look, but to have a talk, let's say, with the person who has put a contract out on his head. Who's pulling the strings? What's going on? I'm not going to give that away. You should be picking it up. Steve McNiven artwork. That first issue was...
And I don't know if all the issues are going to have it, but that first issue had tons of bonus material.
It did.
Tons.
Yeah, all kind of script and layout and how they did. Yeah, it was really, really cool. It was a jam-packed issue, man. Even though it was like $4.99, it was a jam-packed issue of stuff. Mm-hmm. So be sure, Death of Wolverine, #2, hitting the shelf this week.
Yes. Still, with Marvel, we have the Spider-Verse continuing this week with Edge of Spider-Verse #1. This is a 2-issue miniseries here, and in this issue we see
5 issues.
5 issues with this? Oh, okay. Yeah. They have something that's coming out with them that's 2-issue.
Yeah.
Okay. 5 issues. 5 issues. 5 issues. 5 issues. 5 issues with that. With this first issue, we see the Noir Spider-Man from the Eye of the Spider, whatever it was called. He finds himself up against Mysterio. I'm guessing it might be present-day Mysterio because he is facing off against the present-day events that have been going on. So,
okay.
Cool. Interesting little thing here. We get to see one of the people's favorite Spider-Mans here. Yeah, we've had tons of people who've come in here, and I think it was because there was a Spider-Man video game that had like all the different Spider-Man, and they loved the Noir Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was.
That one in $20.99 were huge.
Nice. And guys, we are on the march to Axis,
or the stroll to Axis.
Well, yeah, I call it the stroll. The the walk.
The saunter. The mosey.
Magneto, number 9, March to Axis. This is the issue where Magneto finds out just what the Red Skull has done to Charles Xavier's brain.
Yes.
And there are going to be major ramifications. Can Magneto stand up against the Red Skull's S-Men? And what will he be able to shut down the Red Skull's operation? I'm guessing that he won't, because we are leading up to some major things here.
Right, and we can at least tell you that this operation has to do with a mutant re-education camp.
Yes.
So we know anything like that, Magneto does not like it. Now it's kind of another twist on the whole Magneto versus Xavier thing.
Yeah, it is kind of a different twist.
Yeah.
Like they're constantly at odds, like no matter what, huh?
Yep.
That's crazy. But guys, yeah, this next event for Marvel is the Axis storyline, so you'll be seeing more and more of that as time approaches. That's it for the storylines that I got.
Yes.
Yep.
Me too.
We are moving on to our question of the week.
Yes.
And that comes from a man, Randy.
Yes, I want to know, last week, if anybody read Star-Lord number 3, I believe, they had where Peter Quill is in prison yet again when he calls Kitty Pryde. She's like, "What? You're calling me from jail again?" And he needs some help from her to break out. He needs her to get a distraction. So he's like, "Do you have some sort of a Halloween outfit or something?" She's like, "I've got the perfect thing." So he's like calls guard and says, "Oh, it's hideous. You've got to get in here." And here's this hologram of Kitty Pryde in her X-Men outfit in a giant banana saying "Unga Chaka, Unga Chaka." What? And the guard is just going screaming a badoon that's doing screaming. So it was too funny, and so it got me thinking. I want to know, what is your funniest moment that you've read from a comic book?
Yeah. The
The funniest thing that you can recall reading in a comic. Now, I hear yours is kind of dated, but I still want to hear it.
Guys, I was there for the Giffen and DeMatteis Justice League era, and the whole setup and issue of Batman punching out Guy Gardner is still a classic for me. One punch! I love it, love it, love it. But for a more recent one, I do remember, I still laugh when I think about this. There was a Tales of the Web or Tales of Spider-Man series out years ago.
Tangled Web.
Maybe it was Tangled
Is that
Web.
with the kangaroo?
Yes.
Yeah!
Yes. There was an issue that Daniel Way wrote, and it was drawn by
Leandro
Leandro
Fernandez,
Fernandez, who did the names that came out last week, where it was a one-shot of the kangaroo in prison, and some guy, in one scene, some guy comes hits him. It runs up and knocks him right in the groin, and he grabs, and he just falls to the ground going, "Oh, and the berries!
Me berries.
The berries!" And it's still, I never heard of it referred to it that way ever in my life. And it's still funny to me.
Oh, that was Skip Everybody was quoting that forever. People still quote that around the comic shop.
Berries.
Berries. Mine comes from Ultimate Spider-Man. There was a moment where Kingpin had Spider-Man, and he pulls his mask off and sees this little kid.
Yeah.
And he's asking him, "Who do you work for?" And Spider-Man replies, "Carson Daly." And he takes and he tosses Spider-Man out the window, and he turns to one of his henchmen. He says, "Find this Carson Daly person and destroy him." And that just, it warmed my heart. At the same time, it made me laugh so hard I was crying. But that Kitty Pryde yesterday, reading that last night, I was just howling. I was laughing so hard at the Unga Chaga.
That's good. I didn't see that, but I do remember that. I do remember the Ultimate Spider-Man scene.
It's like destroy him or obliterate him.
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
That's awesome. And folks, tell us your funniest moment in comics. At least one. Log in. Tell us in the comments below. We want to know. If you remember what we're talking about, tell us as well, because those were some good times for us. So let us know.
There's too much fun wrongness in The Boys, so be careful what you talk about if you're going to choose something there.
Oh, yeah. Try to keep it family friendly. But
Love Sausage was awesome, but...
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, The Boys. Yeah, totally. Moving on to the new number ones hitting the shelf this week. Randy, what do you want to start off with?
So many good number ones I am so excited about. And I'm going to go with the Image title, Copperhead.
Okay.
#1 coming out. This is Jay Faber. He hasn't written anything in a while now, I don't think. He's kind of taken a break. I think Near Death may have been like the last thing I remember from him. But this is a gritty new space western. I'm excited because I like those two genres there. Set in the mining town, Coppertown. Clara Bronson is the new sheriff. She is your main character for the series. She is the sheriff, and on her first day, she is going to have to deal with a shady mining tycoon, a resentful deputy who probably thinks he deserved the job over her, a family of alien hillbillies, and, on top of all that, massacre. So I'm excited about this. I love Faber's writing, and just always really good, clean, crisp, and an interesting read with it. And I like the preview art that I've seen from this. So I'm picking this book up. It's going to be near the top of my stack. Total excitement. Exactly.
Another one that's hitting the shelf this week that is by some A-list creators is Annihilator #1, a 6-issue miniseries coming from Legendary Comics. That's who Grant Morrison and Fraser Irving are doing this book, and that's the publisher who's putting this book out. But this book finds washed-up Hollywood screenwriter Ray Spaz is just in a spiral of self-destruction. Spaz. He's in a spiral of self-destruction. Nothing's working out for him. He's a writer. He's trying to get his next big Hollywood hit written. And that does happen to him in the form of his own fictional character, let's see here, Max Nomax, coming to him and telling him he has like 7 days to write this script or the universe is literally going to be destroyed. So this is, I got to see an interview with Grant Morrison on Comic Resources, and he was talking about how it's like the ultimate deadline. Is how he's talking about it's
no procrastination.
Exactly. It's like this is the deadline that matters because an actual universe is going to be destroyed if Ray cannot get this script done for the Annihilator movie that he's working on. And Grant Morrison was talking about how it's like a lot of play on his experience with Hollywood over the past several years as well. So there's going to be a lot of commentary or just stuff interjected in there that Grant Morrison's dealt with himself. So an awesome artwork by Fraser Irving.
This just sounds total Grant Morrison here.
Yes.
I will say this is not his multiversity where he is trying his damnedest to make sure that it is coherent and fluent. We may get some more classic Grant Morrison here, but this just sounds way too intriguing.
Yes.
Next up for me from Boom Studios, Wild's End comes out. I thought this was a miniseries, but I'm not seeing any numbers behind it. So maybe it's an ongoing, I don't know. But this is inspired by War of the Worlds, and it is the Guardians of the Galaxy writer, Dan Abnett. He is going to bring you the anthropomorphic story that is set into 1930s rural England. You're going to have an alien invasion that hits, and when it does, it's up to the town's outsider and the retired war vet that are going to have to kind of get the town people together to help fight back against these aliens. So, and when I say anthropomorphic, if any of you guys aren't familiar with that, it's animals that look human and act human. So they are animals, but in human form.
Exactly what that is.
I'm excited about this one.
That really intrigues me. I don't know why. Just when I saw that and I talked to you about it some more, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. So
it looks fun. It looks like something that could be. I think it's in all ages. I don't know. I'll have to check and see. But it just looks like something that someone from any age could really enjoy this type of story if it's done appropriately.
Exactly. Moving on, guys. Prometheus, Fire and Stone, #1 from Dark Horse Comics. This is a mini-series, and this actually ties into the movie. It's a continuation in comic form of the Prometheus movie. Whenever the crew of Prometheus does not return, another crew is sent out to find them, and this other team, they go to follow them on what the original mission was, but then they find out even more about the universe, and it may even doom them in the process. So if you are a fan of the Prometheus movie and want to see even more of that, I hear talk that Ridley Scott is going to be doing a sequel of the movie.
I think it's supposed to be a trilogy.
It's supposed to be a trilogy.
I think so.
It's probably going to be a year more before we even see it, but this is like a story in between.
Right.
So you can check that out. Have fun with that.
Cool. Last up from me, Stumptown, #1 comes out, Oni Press. I'm excited about this. This is the 3rd volume. There have been 2 miniseries. It is now an ongoing series. This is Greg Rucka's homage to the Rockford Files. Except instead of James Garner, we have Dex Perios, and she is a private eye that never seems to have anything go easy for her. If you've ever seen the Rockford Files, you know that that's kind of the formula that they have right there. It's well written, well drawn, and in this first story arc, we're going to take a look at what should be a nice, lovely weekend of soccer. Except if any of you guys are soccer fans from over in other countries, you know how soccer crowds can get. Everything turns out into an all-out war between heated rivals, and she's got to somehow put an end to it. Whoa. So we'll see what goes on here exactly. If you guys have not read Stumptown, I know the first volume is collected into trade, and I am almost positive the second volume has to be collected. It's fun, it's well written. If you guys like Lazarus, the writing on it, not the story because it's totally different, this one is one that you guys need to pick up.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. And that's it for the new #1s that I have. There are a couple other ones that are hitting the shelf.
Lots.
So, guys, we'll have the shipping list down below so you'll be able to see everything that's hitting the shelf. But that's it for the new #1s for this week. Moving on to our favorites. But before we do, spoilers ahead. Be warned, there will be spoilers ahead. We're going to tell you about our favorite issue from last week, and then we'll dive into our favorites coming up for this week, the comics that'll be at the top of our stack to read. Randy, from last week.
Last week, I picked this one up. I was not intending to, but I picked it up anyways, and I'm going with Names, #1, as my favorite read here. There's something just kinetic about all of this story here. The intrigue between Katya and her husband, that she's, what in the world is this man talking about when he's, telling me his last thing to say to me is calling me champ. Yeah. What's up with this? And then she has to deal with his her stepson, who she thinks hates her, but there's a little more to it than that. So there's a lot of intrigue between the characters there. She is one tough SOB, and she apparently comes from some sort of life that her husband saved her from. So the love is very deep there between the two of them. And when she's told that he couldn't have committed, or that he committed suicide, she knows much better, and very quickly finds out that there's something much more going on there. So Leo Fernandez is one of those that I love his art style. When the first time I saw him was either on the Queen and Country or Incredible Hulk that he was drawing, and he's just really unique. It doesn't look like anything else you've seen, and it fit here. I think he was maybe a little bit stereotyping the British with the giant teeth, but I liked this book quite a bit.
Yeah, it was a great start. That really was a great start. It grabbed you.
Yeah.
It grabbed you and kept you. That's how, it's like how a first issue should be.
Yeah.
You should definitely want more of that. That was definitely top of my list, but I think I'm going to have to give it to Southern Bastards #4 for me for last week.
Those bastards.
That was intense. And for those of you that have been reading the series, up into this 4th issue, you keep seeing Tubbs on the phone with somebody, leaving messages. And I kept thinking, well, he's older, he probably has regrets in his life, maybe he's divorced from his wife, and he still has feelings for her, and he keeps calling her, leaving her messages. One of those classic tropes of storytelling where something's not what it seems. But when you get to the end of it, you find out exactly who he's been calling, and that person is alive and very much connected, just unable to do anything at that time. And the way the issue ends, I was like, oh man. Josh, my co-worker, he was telling me about it. He's like, dude, you haven't read it yet? No. So I did get caught up and read that issue. That was a brilliant ending to the first storyline, the first story arc of Southern Bastards, and I'm just even more excited to see what we're going to do going forward. So
we should say that ask the question, what does it take for a person who is a DC only fan to buy a Marvel book?
Yeah,
it takes the death of Wolverine.
Yeah, that's exactly what Josh did.
So Josh, you did. And I just have to say, guys, the first issue of X-Con was also one of those that was way up there for me, and that Brian Wood's first issue on Moon Knight, solid read, and that I mean picks up with just the exact same style of storytelling that Warren Ellis left off with.
Yes.
So
yes, very good. And now on to our favorites hitting the shelf this week. Randy, what's it going to be?
I'm going to start off. I'm going to split up the Marvels here. Okay. Captain Marvel #7 comes out. I'm kind of excited about this because in this issue we're having I didn't write down the artist's name. You guys can look that up, but she did art on Incorruptible, and I actually liked. There were some bad artists on there, and I liked her art when she was on Incorruptible. Okay. So that she's joining for 7 and 8 of this book, and in this book, this issue, we see Carol and her flirting cat Chewie have an experience with an alien encounter, and this issue is going to show you that in space, no one can hear you meow. Yeah,
that's great. No one can hear you meow. I love it. Guys, hitting the shelf this week, it's a final issue. It's the culmination of what has been happening with Avengers Academy, Avengers Arena. I'm talking about Avengers Undercover #10 hitting the shelf. The conclusion of this particular story.
Yeah.
That's been spanning several comics. Zemo versus the world. In this series finale, the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. attack Baron Zemo. One of the Murder World survivors will become a master of evil, and we will see each character begin their own journey, starting with this issue.
We may have already seen one of them become a master of evil.
Is it going to be that person, though?
We'll see.
Will it be a twist? We will see.
What a twist.
What a twist.
All right, next up for me is Shelter #11. This is great sadness as I discovered this is the beginning of the final story.
I was going to ask you about that.
I did not realize that. It makes sense that something like this could not keep going on forever because only so many bodies can start piling up before people, outside people, normal people, start to take notice of all these disappearances here.
Yes, exactly.
And so it makes sense that this is going to have a culmination here. But, you know, they've done such a good job with telling this story. Guys, it's finite. There is an ending to this. It's probably going to be 3 volumes that you can pick up in trade. Yeah. This is a story well worth it. Ed Brisson has just been lights out.
Guys, the next one up for me, Lazarus 11.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the first. In this issue, we see the part 1 of Conclave. And this is the first time in 65 years that 16 families of the Earth have gathered together in one spot to sort out. Yeah, it's not going to be good. Malcolm Carlisle, who's the Carlisle family, that's the main characters that we see throughout this series. It's a chance for him to identify and eliminate his enemies. For Jacob Hawk, who is an enemy, it's an opportunity for him to exact revenge. And if you saw the previous issue, you saw what was going on there with one of the Carlisle children.
Yeah,
and that was crazy.
Yeah.
So, guys, this is Greg Rucka, man. We talked about Stumptown. Greg Rucka's doing this. Two totally different things, but this is awesome. A new world, a totally different world. And this is beautiful artwork every month it comes out. I mean, Michael Lark is killing it as well.
Absolutely. Last up for me, Miss Marvel #8.
Miss Marvel.
And with this issue, Kamala now has a new partner in crime stopping. That partner would be the lovable Inhuman Lockjaw.
Really?
Yeah, the Wolverine went and told Medusa, look, I met this girl who says she got powers when all those mists came about. She woke up with powers. She's an Inhuman. She can take care of herself. She doesn't need to be brought in. Because that's what Medusa seems to be doing with all Inhumans that pop up. He says she's got it covered. She can take care of herself. But Medusa said, well, just to be on the safe side, we'll send someone to take care of her and look out for her. And there's Lockjaw. Nice. You're just like, yes. What a great pairing. Her team up with Wolverine was spectacular. One that ended with Wolverine saying, hey, I owe you a falafel sandwich or something. That was great. But now you get to see her with Lockjaw. I'm totally excited about this one. And it's also the return of Adrian Alfona as the artist. So
cool. Very cool. Last up for me, East of West, #15. Man, I had like 10. I got like 10 Image books coming out this week that I have to throw on my list, but I'm narrowing it down. East of West, the Great Beast. We still have Death looking for his son, the Beast, and you know what? I'm looking forward to this issue, but I got to be honest with you. I really have no idea what's going to happen in it because Jonathan Hickman himself even said that he hasn't written accurate previews for like years.
Yeah, I'll throw something out there.
Yeah, exactly. So we're still looking for Death's son. Death is still looking for his son. Whether that happens this issue or not, I don't know. But I just love the series.
We have a war that's looming.
Exactly.
Lots of other stuff. We have the 3 other Horsemen of the Apocalypse who still have their own agenda that's going on. We have the Colonel there.
Yes.
The Texan that has his own agenda. So we have tons of stuff going on in this book, and it's a lot to juggle, but it's well worth the read.
I thought that last issue was crazy, man. Just you got to see prophecy take prophecy happen with one particular character. The Horseman, like you mentioned. It's just this is an awesome series you should be reading. And this is number 15, so I don't know if this is going to wrap up a storyline and we'll get a trade, or if we're going to go to 16 and wrap up the storyline. That's kind of what they've been doing. So check it out if you have not been getting. You can get the first 2 trades. They are available.
Yeah.
Get them, read them, soak them up, enjoy them, and let us know.
Live it, love it.
That's right, baby. Guys, that is it for this week. Tons of stuff, tons of new number 1s, tons of storylines. Get your 3D covers of the Futures End stuff hitting the shelf this week. Have fun with that. And tell us below which has been your favorite Futures End cover so far. Your 3D favorite Futures End 3D cover so far. Man, that's a mouthful. But I'm winning.
You did it.
But guys, thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Please subscribe. The link is right down there below. Give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Also, like I said, if you're on the go, the MP3 link is right down there in the description down below. Thanks to all of our visitors, viewers worldwide. We really, really appreciate it. Guys, we are ExcaliburCCG.com, Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana, as well as in Texarkana, Texas. Locals, don't forget the event at the library, the Broadmoor Branch Library, on September 23rd. We are looking forward to that. Actually, the last time we had a live
audience up in Texarkana.
Yeah, and we got cheers.
We got applauded.
It was kind of cool, man.
We weren't expecting that.
So hopefully it won't be going down from here, you know. That's all we have to compare it to.
Yeah.
But thanks again for watching. Please share the video. Help us hit that next mark, the 500 subscriber mark. Guys, you're awesome. So until the next time, take care, be safe, read great comics, and we will see you in our next video. Bye-bye.